So anytime you're introducing tug to a dog or are working to define what the game should look like and add a bit of structure here, I believe what you must have is a pretty reliable out, because if you're looking to use the game of tug as a reinforcement for obedience, you need to be able to release the dog into the tug. So define whatever your bite signal or your terminal release marker will be, and for me, I just use yes as a verbal marker or verbal release. But then equally as important, I believe, is having a really clearly condition out where the dog will reliably release the toy upon command. And so before I begin to teach out, first I got to rev the dog up a bit, because inevitably the dog is going to have a bit of confusion and have to work through some problem solving when I begin to initiate the out. So here I am, just building up some drive, making it fun for the dog. I want him pretty into it. And this is my first repetition of out, and all I'm doing is I'm taking away the slack. So I'm wanting the dog to, if they're small enough, what I'll do is I'll stiffen up the toy. But in Badawa's case, he's just too strong. So I'm stepping on the leash, and I'm allowing him to pull on the leash, not on the toy. And what happens is the game is no longer fun, because he's not pulling on the toy anymore. He's pulling on his own neck. And usually, just out of kind of confusion, they'll let the toy go. And I will immediately mark with yes and toss the toy, or if they want to hit the tug more, then I'll say yes and allow them to come into the tug. So here I am, just adding a little bit more, play to the game, letting him win some, adding some struggle, with the intention of having him win some more and just become more resilient on the bite. And if he's sloppy with the bite, of course, I'll just pop it right out, and then I get to win. But my goal here is for him to feel like this is a lot of fun for him, and he's super, super strong in the game. So I think I'm going to initiate another out here. And all I'm going to do is step on that leash and allow him to back up to the end of his leash, such that he's pulling on the leash. Now, I will walk up that leash. You see me do that if he's maneuvering around it. And the moment he opens that mouth and lets go of the tug, a big yes, and he can go and chase the tug as I toss it. He really wants to make this game into like a catch me if you can game, which, it's not bad. It's just not what I want to do. I find it to be terribly annoying. So this is why I want a dog to have a leash. One of the many reasons why they should be dragging a leash when you're teaching a game like this. And yeah, it's a little harsh there. He kind of snags on the end of the leash, but I'm kind of done with that game. All right, so I know he just got a little bit of an impact, and so he might be a little bit on the nervy side since he just kind of felt the end of the leash suddenly like that. So wanting to again boost his confidence a bit, let him win a little bit here. I love to add like tension and pressure when the dog is on the bite, with the intention of having them still win the bite. I find that strengthens their grip, strengthens their commitment to the bite, even when there are some external pressures being applied. Here's another repetition. I stiffen up. Actually, my arms are actually really loose here. I should say they're very loose. I almost want him to feel like he's just got air in his mouth. Walking up the leash until he opens that mouth and spits it out. Super loose here. Very, very soft in my hands. He's just pulling on the leash at that point, and then a big yes. And remember to step off the leash the moment you say yes, because the last thing you want is to say yes, toss the toy, and have the dog hit the end of the leash as if he was being corrected for chasing down the tug. What will happen is your yes is going to lose some potency if that continues to be the case.